From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we say once again a very good afternoon, everyone. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for Rivalry Family Media, and great to have you along with us. Apologize for the technical difficulties off the bat. Kate did a tremendous job kind of patching it all together in order to make it come together. We also thank Alan Redstone from Leominster TV, Carl Pemerini and the great folks at Leominster TV for assisting with the technical difficulty this evening in order to make it all find its way to come together. But here we are. Warm-ups will continue inside the gym at Leominster High School on senior night. Senior night as Coach John Antonetti and staff honor the litany of seniors that have been an important part of this program throughout 2021 and in the years prior as well. We'll have Coach John Antonetti joining us courtside at the conclusion of tonight's match to talk a little bit further about his senior class that he just introduced here inside the gym at Leominster High School, and we were able to ultimately catch up with as well. When all that is aside, it's Leominster and Groton Dunstable for you, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you in a tall task. It will be on senior night as Leominster brings their 2-8 overall record inside the gym at Leominster High School. Most recently, a sweep in straight sets of the Fitchburg Red Raiders by a 3-0 score. But they are going to do battle with the beast of Pod 6 volleyball, and that is, of course, the one and only Groton Dunstable Crusaders. That's the long lead in to tell you just how good Groton Dunstable has been this year. Perfect 9-0 here in pod number 5. They've beaten all comers, has Coach Heather Barlow and her team And I'll tell you, Leominster faces a very tall task tonight. Not an impossible task, but a tall task nonetheless. We welcome you high above courtside to our broadcast position here for Rivalry Family Media. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins, and you. And great to have you along with us for this one. And Kate, we said it just moments ago, a tall task nonetheless for any team to take on this Groton Dunstable program that is having a phenomenal year.
You can certainly say that again, and you also mentioned the senior laden team of the Leominster Blue Devils. So they are looking forward to being able to take on that challenge. That is for certain. But as you said, Groton Dunstable, very well coached clearly and very talented, and thus far undefeated in their pod matchups during the regular season. So no one has been able to challenge them. But as you said, not an impossible task, but we are looking for quite a show tonight of volleyball skill and expertise. So we'll see how things pan out.
Bill Thomas, we've seen this before in other sports. When you take on a team that is having a perfect season, you have a lot, of course, that you're looking at going into the game in the sense that you're playing uphill throughout the night, right? You're playing uphill pretty much from the moment you arrive at the arena. On the other side, though, if you're Groton Dunstable, you're perfect. Perfection is a very hard standard to maintain, no matter how great you are, because every time you come out, you have to try to continue to be perfect. It only takes one win to knock you off that particular podium.
Yeah, and I think you can relate to Gonzaga. You know,
certainly.
Everybody's going to remember who lost the last game, not that they were undefeated before that game, and when it came to college basketball championship. But I think we have the classic David versus Goliath matchup tonight. Nobody expects David to win, but David does win on occasion. And I expect the girls to be a little extra jazzed up tonight, being senior night. You know, they're in a very good mood. They're loose. They look loose during early warm-ups. I expect them to come out and play a very competitive game tonight. I don't think the records are going to accurately reflect the type of game that we're going to see tonight. At least I'm hoping not.
And it's the first time, Bill Thomas, in addition to add to a little bit of the energy, that there are fans back in the stands. Both JV teams are able to remain for the game tonight, and there are senior parents in the stands from both communities as well.
Yeah, and I was joking with some of them how it's nice to have fans back in the stands. You know, we've been broadcasting in empty arenas, and I don't want to say it affects our game too, but it affects everybody, including us. It's an atmosphere thing. You can feel the energy or the lack thereof when there's nobody cheering except the players, you know, the fans, the parents, that little extra emphasis on doing good and performing in front of the people that mean the most to you. You know, I think that's going to bring that little extra out of the Leominster girls tonight.
And Kate, that little extra is ultimately going to be what Leominster is going to need. On service has been a place that for Leominster, they have really been either able to make or break matches throughout this year. Service tonight will be a place where runs are going to be a necessity.
Well, not only that, consistency. I think consistency is going to be the name of the game. What you're going to need if you're Leominster is you're going to need to be firing on all cylinders. That means consistency not only in your service, but consistency on defense when you're digging the ball, your back row play. That also means that your outside hitting and your blocking is going to have to be tremendous. Just taking a look at the warm-ups for Groton Dunstable, outside hitting is an area that they certainly are not lacking. And so Leominster is going to have to be on their game, which means their communication is going to have to be exquisite. Not only their communication, but the communication coming from their bench. They are going to need every single player, both bench player, second teamer, manager. They are going to need every single person that's wearing a blue or a black jersey. That's the libero, because we don't want to leave out Broomfield. You're going to need every single person over there singing from the same hymnal, because without it, they're not going to be able to be able to surmount the task that's in front of them. Again, not impossible, not an impossibility. And one of the things that Groton Dunstable is going to have to continue to contend with, as they've been contending with all season, is they're going to get every single team's best shot. Okay, when Groton Dunstable comes into a gym or you go into their gymnasium, they have become the class of this pod from the very beginning. And so you have a situation where Groton Dunstable is going to have to, find that reason to get up and really be on their A game, because if they let a set slip by, then, you know, potentially they could be on their heels. So if you're Leominster, you need to come out of the gates on fire. You need to be on fire, ready to go, aggressive, and you need to be firing on every single cylinder that you have. And that doesn't just mean the people that are inside the lines on the court.
Indeed, that is very true. And Bill Thomas, we talked a little bit about this during the last broadcast, and that is, of course, one of the senior leaders for Leominster that was introduced last this evening, Shayla Wynn, who of course has been, you know, a name we have called an awful lot. She's got the top service spot in most rotations, but she's also that kind of floor general, if you will, a quarterback of this particular squad. Last game against North Middlesex, we commented on maybe trying to do a little too much. You know, the classic athlete trying to do too much in a difficult circumstance, trying to pick up her fellow athletes in the process. Tonight, it's not just about what she can do, but it's about how she can incorporate the student athletes around her as well.
Oh, absolutely, Todd and Kate. You know, I think she needs to take charge, but not necessarily physically. She can't be chasing every ball, but she needs to be that field general out there and help out the girl who's closest. Encourage other players to go for balls that she probably knows she can't reach, but she's still trying to get to every ball. She needs to just reel that in a little bit. I know it's youthful exuberance. She's trying to put the team on her shoulders, but I think if she would take charge verbally a little more during the play and get the rest of the girls on the court involved, I think we'd see that lead to a little more success. She's definitely in charge out there. She just needs to have more of a verbal command of the players around her and be more of a director rather than feel like she has to chase every ball.
Kate, you've been in these situations before as an athlete. There is that delicate balance, balance between trying to do too much and then being able to help the program, pick them up and drag them along with you so that you can inspire them in order to keep moving forward. How do you strike that balance? Bill Thomas wants to see more verbal leadership.
And I don't necessarily disagree with him. You have a situation where, you know, leadership styles differ from athlete to athlete. And sometimes when you know that you are the athlete on your team at this particular discipline, sometimes you become the doer. And like Bill Thomas said, there are other avenues in which to lead. You have to because this is such a team sport. I mean, we talk about other team sports. I mean, you know, bat ball sports like basketball, but this one you're in such a confined space that you really have to understand, you know, you literally can't be in every spot. I mean, you could try to, and that's what we're seeing, but you physically can't get to every single spot. You can't, you know, dig the ball, set the ball, and spike the ball. You have to work with those around you. And so, as Billy said, I think communication is going to be key, and clear, explicit, absolute, undeniable communication, not just from the leadership, not just from the senior. It's going to take everybody.
And that is where Leominster will try to roll, as you've been watching in the box right next door on your screen. Warm-ups continue, second half of floor control for Leominster as they start their own individual team warm-up in order to be ready for, again, first service, which is running a little more than a half hour behind the original schedule. And that was actually not largely due to senior night. It was something entirely different. Groton Dunstable experienced some bus technical difficulties as far as being able to get to the location. So once they got here to the gym at Leominster High School, that was about 30 minutes behind the JV starting time. Warm-ups, they got everybody ready to go, played the JV match. They were able to do the senior night festivities somewhere in between. And now everybody's starting to settle in a little bit. Kate, I know both as a coach and a player, you've encountered this one. The bus is late, you're scrambling from behind. As it is, you're trying to maintain a perfect record. Is there anything else that could be sliding against you here where you have to rely on just playing your game in the case of the Crusaders tonight?
One of the things that these student athletes have been, I guess, you know, it's fortunate in that everything about our lives right now is about, you know, pivot and adjust. So in a normal year, I would say, yes, it's an absolute travesty. It absolutely throws you off your game. It messes with your timing, and then having, you know, a senior night festivity on top of it messes with your timing as well. So you might just be off. But because of the last 360 plus days, you know, I'm assuming just about nothing phases anybody anymore relative to their schedule and routine. So I certainly don't think that it's going to impact them all that much. But I will say, when the bus doesn't show or the bus is late or something happens with the bus, there's no worse feeling as a coach and a student athlete, because you just want to get things going. But again, in a year like this, I don't think anything can phase you.
Hurry up and wait has been what Groton Dunstable has navigated over the last so many half hour, 45 minutes to about an hour. And now they are here, they are loose, they are warm. Coach Heather Barlow excited for action tonight, see if they can close out the regular season with a perfect record. That's what's on the line for the Crusaders as they match up with the Blue Devils. Bill Thomas giving you a look at the senior night banners over on the far side of the floor, honoring the litany of Leominster seniors here on this squad for Coach John Antonetti. And as I said to you off the top, Coach John Antonetti will join us here courtside after the match, talk a little bit more about his senior class. And of course, Kate, I'll let you drop this in now, and we'll ask Coach Antonetti about it later on. A lot of these student athletes come from the vocational side of the house. That is a very different athletic experience. It's a very different educational experience, and one that you are familiar with as a teacher at Assabet Valley.
I certainly am. For a lot of these young ladies that, because they are athletes, they may also be, and because they're seniors, they might be experiencing having to go out on a co-op opportunity. So they might be coming directly from work here every day after school, making sure that they can get out of their work. In addition to that, being in a shop experience, if you're not in a co-op experience as a junior and a senior, you're coming in from potentially outside job. Not that there's a lot of that going on right now, but those types of scenarios are starting to open up once again for our vocational students. And so it's a very different experience than your traditional comprehensive setting. And as we heard in the senior festivities, there are quite a few young ladies on the Leominster High School volleyball team who participate in the vocational setting here at Leominster High School. So it's a very special type of person that goes into the vocational setting. You've heard me say it all the time. I think that my students are very brave to make that choice. It is not an easy choice for a 14 or a 15-year-old to make. As a youngster, I would not have been able to do that. And so I have a very special place in my heart for anybody that is in the trades and is in the vocational technical education. And so it's a fun thing to see so many athletes, because it's not always easy to be able to be an athlete and be a vocational student.
I was going to say, it is an experience unto itself. Credit to them for the pursuit. That horn and whistle indicates we are just seconds away from action here inside the gym at Leominster High School. It's the Groton Dunstable Crusaders and their 9-0 record against the Leominster High School Blue Devils with their 2-8 overall mark. Can we follow Bill Thomas's point? Can David slay Goliath? Can Baylor beat Gonzaga once again, Bill Thomas, is the question du jour in Groton Dunstable and Leominster here inside the gym at Leominster High School in high school volleyball coming up here. See the officials getting the antennas placed in the right locations in order to get that marked up correctly, and then they'll take their positions. Yes.
'Tis my favorite.
Time to do the taxes. Check the paperwork.
Floor official Bernie LeClaire will check the official particulars. As he starts to mark off the items of note, checking Leominster's rotation. It has been one of the concerning spots throughout the match over the last so many weeks as Leominster's tried to spot their rotation, and they've had some service rotation issues.
Quite a different energy in here, Bill and Todd, than we have been used to.
It's going to be a little noisy tonight,
and
it's going to almost feel like a basketball game, which is what we've been hoping for. We used to be in the middle of a crowd. And it's nice to see the fans and that extra energy.
We have quite a few people joining us on our Facebook stream. If you're watching us out on the Facebook stream, do not be shy. Make sure you comment. Make sure you let us know who you're cheering for, as long as you guys are nice to each other. We're all about participatory broadcasting. So bring on the cheering, bring on the excitement. We love to be able to chat with the people in the chat.
First service belongs to Emma Kenny from Groton Dunstable. Over the net it goes, and we're underway. Wynn tries to chase it down after an early dig. Not able to return. First point hits the floor. Crusaders with your quick 1-0 lead.
And if you're Leominster on defense, you want to break this particular serve. This is the one that the coaching staff for the opposition has the most confidence in relative to their consistency. This is the serve you want to break.
Kenny sends it over the back of the net, finds the floor. It's an ace. Hannah Collier looked a little stuck. She's now talking to Angelina Broomfield as they try to sort out what's going to happen in case they try to split them again on the next service.
Yep, back row is going to have to work together to figure it out.
Kenny long of the mark.
Good job there by the Leominster bench. The second team and some of the substitutes helping out with that call in the back row. We've seen this regularly early on. They need to do this for every set.
And it was a challenge in the last broadcast against North Middlesex. Wynn goes right at the back row, and Kenny right over for the kill opportunity. It's Barlow long of the mark. And Leominster evens the score at 2-all, 4 points into the first set.
A rotation issue on Groton Dunstable, it looks like. Okay.
Rotation sorted out, and away we go. Wynn brings the hammer. Great dig there by Barlow. Kill opportunity is found and delivered by Brooke Barry.
That point generated off of that great dig on an excellent serve led to that Groton Dunstable point.
Indeed it did. Had to balance that floor sound a little bit there as with the people back, we got a little bit of energy going out here in the building. Yes,
is a little too squeaky.
A little hot. Naomi Rodman, second serving position, the lefty, over the net, and
rotation bug bites Leominster on this one.
was there 4 in the back row? Is that what
Nope.
there ended up being?
They're out of position for the rotation.
Ah. But it looked like somebody was standing up there. No ability to delay that, get that correct. And clip the tape does Rodman. And that'll go down as an ace. Broomfield with the dig. Wynn, Perez taps it over the net. They say play on. Wynn with the dig. Now has to bring it over, clip the tape. Nice job stepping up by Rodman to dig it out. Over the head of Frazier. Leominster initial dig was there and then not able to swing it back over. Wood and Wynn having a discussion out on the floor, trying to move the particulars, get the pieces in the right place on the Leominster side of the floor. Here comes Rodman. Collier with the dig. Win the back set. Here comes Perez overhead. Back row kill opportunity for Kenny. Long on the mark. Leominster halves the lead and gets point in possession. They're back on serve.
Perez Soto now back to serve. She's been very consistent for Leominster, especially mid-season. Last week a little bit less consistent, but traditionally very consistent for Leominster.
Kill opportunity here is found from the middle of the front row for Sydney Barlow. Kate, you weren't here during Perez Soto's introduction, was the very first in the senior ceremony. But what that stood out to me was Coach John Antonetti talking about how he wished he had had her just a little bit longer. Yep. A one-season athlete in volleyball.
Man, that's tough.
Indeed.
You go through that too with your program sometimes. You don't find kids at the high school level until they're juniors and seniors.
Junior and senior year.
And you wish you were able to have them.
I can certainly understand that as a radio and television high school teacher as well. Abby Burgess.
Another southpaw.
Yeah, the sophomore goes back into the net. Ball in possession back to Leominster with a point.
Leominster here should be very pleased keeping this close, not letting Groton Dunstable's first 3 or 4 servers get on any type of run. Right there, that's a miniature victory. Now you need to capitalize on it.
Here comes Broomfield.
The floater.
Dug out by Kenny. Kill for the back line is on the line. That's in.
Yep. That's difficult. The only thing that you can do there is to, turn right around and pursue, but that's a 50-50 ball, and so sometimes you just tip your cap. Nice placement.
Barlow
Well
with the
done.
outside hit and got the kill. This is Brooke Barry.
Good decision to dig that.
Yeah, Felicia Meza decided it was time to get it. Kill attempt coming from the middle of the floor. It's Barlow wide of the line. Sneaky kill opportunities there, Kate. They play a little possum, and all of a sudden they show up for the spike.
And that particular that particular outside hitter we saw during warm-ups very much likes that low set, that quick low set, so she can come in for that quick strike opportunity.
I think the IRS just called. They want to check the
I was going to say, we got an
check
audit.
the tax return. Getting audited.
And again, we've talked about this every match if you've been following us. Oh, it is good.
That's good.
It's good. Manager position, vital and critical in this particular scenario. And she does a great job. She lets the officials know if she sees a problem or thinks she sees a problem.
They took a point down off the board there, Kate. We're showing 8-5. They're showing 7-5 in. Leominster with the point there. Make it 7-6.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see them signal to remove any point,
Nope.
but we continue. Wood on service. Dug by Kenny. Eberhardt got to it and then cleared over. Win.
That's a
Set.
nice set.
And Sanchez came for the kill attempt. Bumped right back over. Meza, Amosa, Win with the kill.
I will say, the last 2 weeks, Amosa has playing by far the best volleyball that we have seen her play all season long. Her jumping is in sync. Her play at the net has been crucial. That last volley, that last point does not happen unless Amosa is able to control that ball at the net. Very well done.
Nice spacing at the net, too. Outside, blocked by Win. But through the block comes the kill.
And that
Looked
point
like
has
Kenny.
not gone up on the scoreboard yet. Now it has.
And that jump service from Sydney Barlow is into the net. We're at 8-all, 16 points into this first set.
And again, if you're Leominster, you need to understand you are in the catbird seat in this particular set. You have to capitalize on it. You don't want the first server for Groton Dunstable to come back up if you don't have any type of lead. You need to get points on the scoreboard so that you can have the lead before that first service comes back for Groton Dunstable. Got to capitalize on the opportunity that you're given.
Yeah, an important point there as well. Collier's back on serve. Middle kill opportunity there is saved. There's O'Malley. Kenny through the block. Broomfield throws a body at it. Not able to keep it up. It almost looks like Kate Wynn could use a little help on that block attempt. They need a double block.
They do need a double block, but right now, Leominster's defense, with regard to fundamentals, they need as many people to dig that particular ball as they can get.
Eberhardt on serve. Set from Wynn. Nevard decides to touch it to the middle of the floor. Pushed right back and found an open spot. It's Eberhardt. Nevard thought she had it with the two-hand push over the floor. Eberhardt said, I'll see that and raise you.
And not only that, you see that back row for Leominster slide up. Those Groton Dunstable hitters, they can see all that space behind that back row. And if you're going to give it to them, they're going to take it.
Broomfield comes diving in. Amosa with the tap over.
Tactical right now.
Kill attempt. Wood able to pop it up. Then Win. Now Nevard, a little touch.
You're watching that back row for Leominster sliding up.
Not able to land that one. Found the Bermuda Triangle in the middle of the floor. Nevard, Amosa, and Wynn discussing that one.
Ooh,
Collier
tough.
sliding in, but it's an ace. Eberhardt's service continues. And the lead is a +4 for the Crusaders. Timeout taken on the floor by Leominster. Coach John Antonetti would like to talk things over.
Well, Coach Antonetti knows, you cannot let any type of lead become sizable against Groton Dunstable. Otherwise, you basically let the train go off the tracks. You're off the rails, and then, let somebody else take the wheel at that point. So I think it's a wise decision to try to stop try to make sure that the girls maintain their composure. Their communication has been pretty good. And right now, Groton Dunstable seems to be kind of like still waking up. A couple of unforced errors from Groton Dunstable, but you can see their skill level, really starting to take shape on that other side of the ball. So Coach Antonetti needing his girls to stay sharp right now.
I want to talk about that last pass over a minute ago with Nivard, who saw the opportunity, got the jump opportunity, tried to deliver the kill. We know about her basketball prowess, Kate, but you could certainly see some of those instincts when they kick in here and they connect with the sport of volleyball. You could see there's a real potential in Isabella Nivard to be a great volleyball player as well.
Certainly. And she has that tenacity, we know that.
And to the net. 4 hits called against Leominster. Out of the timeout, just the 1 point thus far for Eberhardt. Let's see if she can continue on service. Just made it over. Amosa defensively makes it. Nivard tried the kill. Still alive. This one's got to clear. It does for Eberhardt. The volley continues. Win for Nivard. Outside rip. That caught the line. Yes, it did.
Beautiful outside hit by Isabella Nivard there. Did you see the service, though, on that last one? Purposely, Groton Dunstable player purposely sending that ball directly to the front row or trying to get just behind them into that empty space. Some beautiful control by the servers for Groton Dunstable right now. Leominster trying to match.
This is Brady, got the service over. Blocked from Nivard, and they say she got into the net.
Yep. Into the net.
They say Nivard under the net. Her teammates give her a little pat. That was a heck of an effort. 13-10, Groton Dunstable's lead. They're back on serve, and they're back to the top of their rotation with Emma Kenny, the junior.
14-9, scoreboard just fixed itself.
Thank you, Kate.
I thought I was wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure we were right the whole time, and Kenny takes advantage of the miscommunication between Broomfield and Collier, and it is an ace.
Those types of unforced errors, those are the ones that hurt the most right now in this type of a situation. Can't give away free points.
Here comes Kenny again. Broomfield, nice touch. Now win. Broomfield had to try to kill from the back row. That's not her specialty. Liberos, Kate, not their gig, right?
She's actually been pretty good at it this season. She got more confidence in that maneuver than I would have had.
Stanton able to swing it back over, coming into the back row to do it. Kill opportunity. Wood able to dig it out. No help.
Everybody's looking at Wynn, everybody's looking to her to come get that. People need to be more aggressive. You can't look for her to come and get every second hit. It's her job to get the second hit, but you can't ask her to go coast to coast. You can't ask her to do that. You need to have other people helping out in that situation.
Kenny for Collier. There's Wynn. Wood back row kill, wide of the line.
And I think that's some of that issue that you see when we talk, and we have been, we have been at times critical of Wynn going coast to coast, but in those times her teammates are looking for her to do it, so it becomes a very precarious situation.
Nivard swings it over successfully. Stanton trying to slap it down, not able to do it.
Blue Devils got away with the net there.
Indeed they did. Outside, nice touch, right back. A little ping pong right at the net. Swung over, clipped the tape. Not much you can do about that one. What an exchange. 10-point lead for Groton Dunstable all of a sudden has opened up. And Coach Antonetti will spend a timeout. His second in this first set. A 19-9 Groton Dunstable lead has suddenly developed, and Bill Thomas, Leominster was hanging in there for a while, and then all of a sudden Groton Dunstable really did come alive in that last exchange between the two Leominster timeouts.
Yeah, they've scored, I think, 7 or 8 points in a row here, but Leominster's competitive on every point just about, and some balls are finding the floor, finding some open spaces, but seeing a lot of good things. Even though they fell behind by 10 points here in this first set, they're playing a good matchup to this point. They just got to keep doing what they're doing. the balls will start finding the floor on their side for their shots too.
Indeed, it should. Kate, I want to talk a little bit about Groton Dunstable's service here. They've stayed on service fairly consistently, but it's not the same style of service that we've seen in the top half of this group. We've seen the Hudsons with the jump service. We've seen the North Middlesexes last week with the ability to jump serve consistently. Groton Dunstable, it's a little different approach. It's a little more nuanced. It's a little more finessed. They try to find spots on the floor. It is not this big, heavy power. Their heavy power is right here on the kill.
Yeah.
That one's wide of the line, but a great effort by O'Malley. Theirs is about control, less about service and keeping their runs going.
And I think you're very aptly put there. It's almost surgical in nature. Their pinpoint accuracy, trying to find that open spot on the floor, or basically toying with the other team, trying to get them off their toes and onto their heels.
Win with the back row kill
to make a mistake happen.
Leominster cuts the lead to 8.
And this is, if you're Leominster, this is where you want to get a big chunk of points with Wynn back there on serve.
And seemingly you have to with the hill in front of Groton Dunstable here in the first set. And that's an ace.
I think if Wynn gets 2 or 3 more points here, I think you'll see the coaching staff, is it Coach Barlow from Groton Dunstable? I think you might see her take a quick timeout here.
Here comes
Not yet. We got a few more points, but you don't want Nguyen to get on a big run.
Middle of the floor, Kenny digs it out. Response by Barry, and then over by Barlow.
Nobody there.
Tried the back set, a little too low. Wood tried to step up and dig it out, wasn't gonna be able to do it.
Getting too cute.
And that is the strength of the Groton Dunstable game. It's the response more so than it is on the service.
And this particular serve, knuckleball-esque. You take a look at this ball, it barely rotates coming across the net, and it just plays tricks on you midair. You have the left-handed serve, you have multiple left-handed servers for Groton Dunstable, and then you get that knuckleball, lack of rotation. Of course, that one rotates.
In the crow's nest, Nevard shovels it on. Back set, slap, middle of the floor, dug out. Nevard swings it back over and finds the floor.
That's the first time out of Groton Dunstable that we have seen a complete collapse in communication on a ball coming over the net.
Where their shape almost fell apart a little bit. Nevard goes back for her first time on service.
And I think you were very apt when you were talking about it. It's very Venn diagram-esque. That particular ball went inside the Venn diagram of multiple circles, and they didn't know what to do with it.
Kenny was surprised, but she found the floor. Point possession goes back to Groton Dunstable with a 22-13 lead and the ability to close out the set. They'll be on their 3rd server in the rotation, Abby Burgess, the sophomore. She'll step to the back line. Another lefty.
Southpaw Central. Love it.
Indeed it is. Sanchez, the response. Still alive.
Going the wrong way, though.
And going away from the net, indeed. Point in possession, back to Leominster. Leominster adjusts the rotation, make everything fit together, if you will. Amosa is now back front left for Leominster as Broomfield goes on service.
She's the bruised lady on this team. I feel
Indeed
so
she
bad.
Is, and still alive.
Giving her body up constantly.
Wood kill attempt, still going. Back set, hammer,
Beautiful.
Still alive by Wynn. The whistle goes off.
Yep. Into the net on
They
the
call it
follow
on the
through.
net. It's a Leominster point. Second official, Bernie Leclerc, steps up and says the follow-through clipped the net. Sydney Barlow, I think, was checking, or is she relaying to Eberhardt, Kate? I wasn't sure who had the hit.
I don't recall. It was a rocket.
Indeed it was. And Broomfield's rocket misses the back line. 23-15. 4th server in the rotation, Brooke Barry, 2nd time on serve this set. Wood touch, nope, that's not gonna work. On the hill are the Crusaders in set number 1, 24-15. Barry an opportunity to close this set up. With authority and an ace. First set, 25-15 for the Crusaders.
Leominster mounted a mini comeback there, but just not enough. Broomfield got on a little serve roll there, but that long serve turned it over, and Groton Dunstable was able to close it out there. Good skill shown by Groton Dunstable, though. They lost their edge there about 3/4 of the way through the game. It looked like Leominster was going to come back on it, but they found a way to regain control and seize that first set.
Indeed, they were able to respond in that situation. And Kate, I look at where, kind of Coach Heather Barlow's squad have navigated their ability throughout the middle of the floor and being able to keep the ball up and find the opportune moment to go for the kill attempt. They just have this sense, this timing, this feeling that comes, and all of a sudden you could see it develop, and then there's the opportunity and they take it.
With the other pods in the team, the other teams in the pod, pardon me, happy Monday. With the other teams in the pod, you could see certain plays develop. There was a finesse. Not necessarily a finesse, but there was a flow to their game. With regard to what we're seeing on Groton Dunstable's side of the net, they're tacticians. And you can see things going on at multiple levels. They have multiple, things going on. They are trying to, literally, it's a cat and mouse game. They're toying, essentially, and not in a, poor sportsmanship kind of way, but they're trying to draw Leominster, strategically, trying to draw Leominster into doing one thing for a little while so that they can then go and attack. They're not going to constantly be, that bump set, heavy kill. They're toying with you. They're going to be able, they have multiple dimensions to their game. They're very dynamic, so that as soon as Leominster gets lulled into one aspect of thing, boom, they hit you with something else. There's quite a lot of dynamicism going on their side of the ball. Leominster, however, I was pleasantly surprised. A lot more energy than we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Communication has increased much better. They're making, communication errors here and there, particularly with the back row, but they're cleaning it up after one time. Obviously, we said they have to play the best volleyball that they've played in a very long time, or ever, in order to really be able to get through this Groton Dunstable team. But very pleasantly surprised with the level of communication that I'm seeing out of the Blue Devils and their level of fight, for sure. They're doing a great job.
As referee Bernie LeClaire does the paperwork over on the far side, and we get set for set number 2. Good opportunity to remind you, one more broadcast. Of course, tonight was senior night here inside the gym at Leominster High School for Leominster High School volleyball. Coming up on Thursday, it's their Dig Pink night here inside the gym at Leominster High School, as they will raise awareness for breast cancer awareness. That will all be a part of the broadcast. Everybody wearing pink, Billy, Kate, and myself included. We're looking forward to it. As I say during our other sports broadcasts, splash a little pink in with your royal blue, whether you're here inside the building or joining us from home, as we raise awareness alongside the Leominster High School volleyball team for breast cancer research, early detection, and breast cancer awareness broadly, as Leominster opens with the first point and an ace for Shayla Wynn. We'll talk to Coach John Antonetti about that matchup coming up on Thursday as well, when he visits with us courtside after this one. And another ace for Wynn.
Wynn doing a good job of cutting that net, just barely getting over on a line drive.
This one goes long, and the back line avoids. Point in possession, back to the Crusaders. Emma Kenny, the junior, on service, still maintaining that first slot. Broomfield for Wynn, scrapes over, right back to Broomfield. Wynn, Stanton tried the kill from the middle spot, not able to. Collier, then Broomfield. Now Wynn with the free ball over. Outside opportunity. There's the kill from Barry. Wood not able to respond.
So difficult to defend in that position. It's not easy, particularly when the ball's coming from that angle. All you can do is take a stab at it and hope. It's probably why they put it there.
I was going to say, I think that is part of it, is there not? Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Happy to have you along with us and a part of our family here on Rivalry Family Media. Leominster and Groton Dunstable tonight. Leominster South Lancaster Academy on Thursday to close out the volleyball season here on RFM.
Ooh, tough back row.
Indeed, nice response. Here's the kill attempt from Wood. Dug out. The double block sets up, but the ball never cleared the net. Leominster's lead 3-2 as Collier checks out and Sanchez in. Randy Wood on service for the Blue Devils. Goes low, dug out nicely there by Barry. Kenny swings it over from the back row. Stanton throws her arms at it, free ball clears off a win. And the kill, middle of the floor there, was O'Malley who found the opportunity to respond. Substitutions on the floor. See some first-time opportunities. The sophomore Isabel Frazier checks in. She'll be outside left as we see Rodman back on serve. Sanchez changes the angle of her body to clear the ball inside of the needle.
Does a nice job keeping her shoulders square to that net, though. Very well done.
And the kill opportunity for Sabalauskis is wide of the back line.
That's been ingrained. Have you noticed? Pat ingrained that.
Square to the net.
If I learned nothing else, that was what I learned.
Square to the net.
And no wailing and flailing.
That's right. Over the net.
Ooh.
And that's an ace.
Get those outside hitters trying to get out of the way so that the setter has the opportunity to, to take care of the ball and to set those outside hits. The problem is that if there's any, crossing in paths, it becomes dangerous.
Broomfield, right to Kenny, sets it up. Sabalauskis, and then the
Oh
kill right
my.
back from Kenny from the back row. Broomfield responds. Perez not able to send it over. 2 hits called on Perez as it kind of spun back on her fingers, but what an exchange, Kate.
That was about the most efficient, effective back row kill that I've ever seen.
That ball came over hot
Yeah.
from the back line. Oh,
And if you just think, Bill Thomas, think about the geometry of what has to happen in order for
absolutely.
that to work in that fashion.
Sabalauskis on serve. Sanchez, a little soft touch with the kill.
With a kiss.
Indeed.
Whether you hammer it or you soft touch it over, point's a point.
Point's a point.
Just as effective.
And Ashley Perez Soto on service again for Leominster. Right to the back row. This is Barry going the wrong way. Sabalauskis tries to bail out. Nowhere to go. Leominster increases their second set lead to 3.
Some interesting decision making that we've been seeing on the Groton Dunstable side of things. Right now, they seem to be a little bit off their game, particularly in the back row, not being all that aggressive on that second hit especially.
Sabalauskis sets the front row and kill opportunity in the front for Frazier.
They're back now. There they are.
The height's just not fair. Just not fair. This is Ashley Parmenter who will check into the game for Leominster for Perez Soto. Barry serve. Yeah, no response. Long of the line. Back within 2 are the Crusaders.
Difficult to play a volleyball in the back row off of one hip or another. Once you start to have your forearms kind of move in a different direction other than facing that net like that, you don't know where the ball's going to
Called
go.
an ace. Clip the back line, says the chair official.
Lead is gone.
7-all, second set. Barry to Broomfield.
Tough.
And yes, not able to respond again. Not only is the lead gone, Kate, but the lead has now changed.
No, that's certainly true.
Here comes Barry. Broomfield gets the set off win. Sanchez decides to bump it over.
She's been a little tentative on that outside hit today.
Comes Kenny with the kill.
Broomfield trying to make some magic happen off of the basketball.
I was going to say,
net.
see if you could play all of those wires and stanchions and supports in order to make it go. I would have been impressed. Here's Broomfield again. Little touch. Amosa tried the kill, and it fell on the floor. Richie went back and then had to go forward. And Kate, in a lot of other sports we talk about, your first step should be back in those bat ball sports. In this case, your first step's going to be wherever the ball's going.
Scoreboard still hasn't changed. I've got 9-8.
Mountain will find the floor. Nice job going over the head by Rodman. Libero checks back out as O'Malley returns to the lineup. And a substitution.
I'm going to not change the score.
Kuscheka will check into the game. You know, we're going to hold, we're matching the building scoreboard, but Kate, I tend to agree with you. I think it's a 10-8 score. Broomfield let it go. Great judgment there. Stood at the edge of the abyss and said, nope, not going to touch it. You're not going to get me to do it.
Good, great court awareness. We've seen that with her for the vast majority of the season. Great court awareness.
Showing 9 all.
Yeah.
Rotational issues. Coach Barlow steps in to correct her own rotation. Bernie Leclerc says, yep, we're ready to go.
Play on.
As did the manager, who is doing an excellent job over there, Kate.
Told you. Just as important as anybody out on that court.
Reaching over her head, nice job by Richie to send it along. Now Wood, tough angle, sent it into the net.
I'd be a proponent of giving them varsity letters. That's just me, though.
It's an
They're
excellent
so
point.
they're in this game, they are so vital. So vital. You see them in other sports, you know, but in this, they manage the entire floor in this sport.
In order to make the rotation work.
I got it.
That one's not gonna make it. It'll go down as an ace for Crandall. 11-9, the building scoreboard shows, as do we. Is there still a point, Kate, that's living out there somewhere?
Yes.
Alrighty. Wood, back row Rodman.
That's
Outside kill. Nice touch on the dig. And just over for Sanchez, and it works, excuse me, for Stanton, and it will work. Can't help but giggle, Kate, because
She
that was the
knows.
absolute perfect kill opportunity for Kenny.
Yep.
Somehow dug out by Broomfield with a little window touch set, and then responded back to with Stanton just slapping it over.
The girls can hear you. They're commenting down on the floor. They've gotten used to you, though.
It's enjoyable as Alexi, I told you. They can adapt to
They've
any
gotten
broadcast
used to you.
situation. If the golf team could, why can't they?
That's true.
The dig out.
Beautiful dig. Beautiful save.
And Nevard keeps it alive. Bump back over. Crusaders caught off guard here. Woods got to go with the kill. Nice diving dig for Crandall. Kenny comes with the kill.
Oh my
Broomfield
God.
keeps it alive. Outside Wood, the kill. Long of the back line, it appears. Yes, it is. I think we made a great call.
And it was the correct call, but what an absolute amazing defensive effort by the Leominster Blue Devils. That was epic, epic defense, back row play.
Kenny, Broomfield dug it up, maybe surprised herself a little.
Unreal. She's a magician.
Win response, wide of the line. Point possession back to Leominster. Woods going on service. Sanchez back to the front row. Leominster trails by 1. Wood to the back row. Responds by Guzcheka.
Oh, she wound up. Well done, well played. I was fooled.
Right back over. Broomfield keeps it alive. Blocking the net. Leominster's gonna send it over. That ain't gonna happen. Double hit called on Sanchez.
Tremendous effort right now. The Blue Devils are putting on quite an impressive show.
Frazier back in.
And they are doing their darndest to stay step for step for this very talented Groton Dunstable team.
Outside, nice job by Sanchez, doubles it over. Pushed back on, Wood to win. Sanchez the kill, dug back out by Barry.
Free ball to the back again.
And they made it back over. Win, got a kill from the back row. Popped up by Rodman on the other side of the net.
Oh.
There's the push into the net.
Nevard into the net.
Awfully difficult call there, as of course the hit was on Barry, who herself was coming toward the net.
I will respectfully disagree.
Coach Antonetti seems to have seen what I saw. Lets the floor official, Bernie Leclerc, know he saw it. Rodman sends it over. Stanton, Win, tight quarters, tapped over. Shape returns, Wood, back row kill, goes down the line, dug out. Nice set. Broomfield with the response.
Needs help.
It was tit for tat. I believe in basketball we call that a jump ball. The two officials are going to have to confer because you've got the potential for net calls on the floor here. You've got both players that have literally touched and tapped this one. Let's see what we can hear. And they award the point to Leominster after the conversation.
Doing a little eavesdropping right there.
Love
with
that
our
microphone,
courtside
Bill
mic.
Thomas.
I love it.
Love that microphone.
It was a lot more sensitive, though, when there was no fans.
I was going to say, it was much more
We
effective.
used to really be able to eavesdrop.
We'll turn this into a library if we want to effectively hear.
That's right. Maybe we can hide another mic.
Rodman, right in the crow's nest there.
Oh, that's
This
high.
one over the rafters. Amosa swings it over. The touch, Crandall sets up a response. Sanchez back over. And a miscue. Crusaders with the unusual miscue, Kate. It's your ball, it's my ball, it's nobody's ball. It finds the
and
floor.
this is one of those things. They have been rolling to victory after victory, and they just, having that slight lapse in judgment right now. Leominster is staying in this, and Leominster's defense has just been keeping them in this game.
Broomfield. Just alive, nice touch. Win punched on. Sanchez on the free ball. Tapped along through Amosa's block. Finds the floor. 15-13. Groton Dunstable with the 1-set lead. Substitution for the Crusaders.
Interestingly, Coach Barlow here not panicking for the Crusaders of Groton Dunstable. She's still smiling. Positive reinforcement. And it's a very refreshing situation. She's trying to get her
Sanchez
team back in it.
pushed it through the double block. Within one come the Blue Devils. And Isabella Nevard on serve. Dug out by Rodman. Kill opportunity and a block from Wynn. Richie might have let that one get a little too low before she went for the kill, but at the net, Wynn was able to close with the block. Nevard directly responded to by Rodman. Amosa, a little too low. Wynn tried to set it a little low, so it was just above the tape. Winamosa would deliver the hammer. Ended up getting a little too low. Nevard back out. Felicia Meza checks back in. This is Sanchez to the back row. Dig. Barry. Set. Pushed on. Middle of the floor. And the sophomore Frazier finds the middle of the Leominster defense.
This is where Leominster's had their trouble, is at the end of games letting other teams go on runs, see if they can't do something to stem the tide here.
And that's an ace. Brooke Barry. Kate, I saw the visible reaction. Meza's got a square to the net.
Well, square to the net, but only one person helping her out on the sideline as to whether or not that ball is out. They do such a great job at the beginning of sets and beginning of matches, helping out that back row on those very difficult decisions. You have to understand, it is a split-second decision, and when a ball is coming at you at, at that speed with the angles, you can't look down and make sure that you know that where you are in relation to something else. Somebody that is, an observer on the side, they can see the geometry of the ball coming in relation to you and the line. They have that other dimension, they have that other variable in their line of sight. You don't always get to see that. At the end of the day, of course, it's your decision. It's your call to make. You have to be able to make it and know where you are on the court. But if you've got 9 girls that are affirming your decision, that's a much easier decision to make than if you're out there all by yourself going 60-40, 50-50, Maybe if you've got people that are all singing from the same hymnal and they're right there and they can see not only the ball, you, and the line, that helps. You need that help. Have to have it.
Brooke Barry's had some nice runs on service. It continues here out of the timeout. Sanchez tapped it over the double block, but it is wide of the line. Crusaders' lead is now +4, plus a set. And frustration from Barry with herself as it caught the side of her hand. She knew it about halfway through the swing. She wasn't lined up right.
Abort.
And there was nowhere to go but low.
And then that's embarrassing.
It's frustrating, of course, absolutely.
Then you're like, great, now I look like I can't serve. Everybody knows.
Collier clips the tape. She's got an ace.
I don't think there's anybody in the gymnasium that questions whether or not a single athlete on Groton Dunstable is capable, of performing a serve.
And anyone watching along at home with us. Here comes Collier, going to the outside line. Set middle of the floor. Sabalauskis, response Collier. Now Wynn. Here's Wood.
Oh,
nice diving play by Barry. Has to go over on the free ball, and it does from Frazier. Wood tried the kill, responded again by Barry. Here comes Kenny with the kill. That's wide of the line.
Beautiful defensive effort by the back row play for Groton Dunstable. Was it Barry in the back row multiple times on that volley, doing masterful work in the back row to keep that volley alive for Groton Dunstable. Well done.
Kenny gives up the body to keep it all going. Rodman right back at the server, Collier. Wood decides to swing it over. Barry got the back set from Sabalauskis, and Ritchie's not able to respond. 19 all in set number 2.
Tough getting caught in that net. That's not an easy task to be able to manipulate the ball, your body, stay out of the net yourself. Not easy. Not an easy ask.
Here comes Collier. Dug out by Frazier. Got to clear the floor. Frazier now goes for the kill.
Oh, goodness
Broomfield
gracious.
With another amazing dig. And Wynn, tough angle there. Nothing the front row could do into the net.
Broomfield is playing out of her shoes on defense tonight. I mean, just straight up out of her shoes.
She has never lacked for the effort for giving up the body, but tonight she is right on angle.
Yep, right on angle. Her body is under control. Although giving up the body, her body is under control. And at every single turn, she has this masterful touch in the back row. When she's on, the ball just does exactly what she wants it to do.
Goes Cheka on serve. Broomfield. Wynn. Wood. Dug out there by Barry. Here's Barry, back row kill, middle of the floor. Put it on the board. 21-19.
Right now, Groton Dunstable's poise has been right now, at least, the difference maker in this one thus far.
Coach John Antonetti spends the timeout at 21-19.
Not a moment of panic on any athlete or coach on the Groton Dunstable side, and I really do think that that's something that's keeping them in this game. They are sure of their technique, they are sure of their fundamentals, they are sure of their ability to get points, and it has created just this sense of calm amongst the entire team. They've been making mistakes. They're not completely impervious to mistakes, obviously. Made some unforced errors. They've been, on the wrong side of some excellent plays from Leominster. They've made some really tremendous plays as well, but poise, just there's this sense of calm. And they know that they are, although allowing Leominster to remain close, they are poised and they're in control.
Right back out on the floor.
Impressive.
Here comes Wood. Back line is long. Coach Barlow, I think, bid on that one successfully, but it was the right call from our angle.
Yes.
22-19.
Free ball.
And pushed on over. Nice set from Sabalowskis.
Oh, wow.
Kenny the
There
kill,
it is again.
and the dig, and the whistle. Seven? I'm assuming, or seven. They're saying win into the net. Here's Cheka. Collier gives up the body to send it right back. Set. Got a little help from the take there, did O'Malley. Leominster responds. Sabalowskis for Kenny.
2 points.
Still going, but not gonna matter. A redo.
I thought they could play the extra accessories.
They could, Bill Thomas. They didn't. They didn't call it out.
Interference.
It looked like, I was gonna say, he basically gave the old jump ball, Kate. Isn't that the redo?
Yes. There was no point put up on the board.
Look at me. Sanchez for Wood. And over. Trying to angle back. That's a 2-point swing.
Yeah.
Leominster crosses into the 20s. Samantha Brady, the junior, will step to the service line.
Big service opportunity right here.
Sends it over. Dug out by Ritchie. Alive from Sabalowskis. Brady with the set, then win. Wood outside kill attempt. Into the net.
Should be set point for Groton Dunstable.
Substitution out on the floor. 24-20. Groton Dunstable is on the hill looking to take a 2-0 lead. Crandall, the junior, goes to the service line. Chair official tells Coach Barlow, you're drifting a little. Just to send her back. Touchdown win, finds the floor. And will buy herself one more service in this game.
And if you want anybody behind that line for Leominster, this is the young lady you want there.
At 24-21, Leominster needs to sweep this with 5 straight points.
Yep.
They have to win 26-24. It's a race to 25, got to win by 2.
They've put themselves in the best position to do that right here.
Here comes Win. One ace!
If you're Coach
That's
Barlow,
enough for Coach Barlow. Spend the time out.
Right.
Great decision.
Yep. She has not had a moment where she's necessarily felt the need to do that at any point in this particular match, in this particular set. But when you have somebody that's as dynamic as Shayla Wynn back there, ready for service, their #1 service, their senior leader, their captain on the floor, their clearly most talented player, You need to have every single trick in your book. You need to ice the kicker right here.
Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for the live broadcast. Game available on demand same day. That tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry or YouTube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe today. Here comes Wynn. The hammer to the back line. Guscheka with the dig out. Here's the kill attempt. O'Malley, Leominster unable to respond. Groton Dunstable closes out the set on defense. 25-22. Groton Dunstable takes set number 2.
What a tremendous set that was,
Indeed.
A lot of good rallies there, attacking back and forth. Good defense, but Groton Dunstable showed why they're undefeated. They took charge when they needed to, a timely timeout right there, and scored the important points down the stretch.
The one thing I would say of Leominster's performance tonight, Bill Thomas, has been successively from set 1 to set 2. There was improvement in those results.
They've been playing good tonight. A gritty performance up to this point. Just they don't have anything to show for it except a good effort. But I expect it to continue in this third set. You know, they've kind of lost their oomph in the third sets where things haven't gone right earlier in the season. I see a lot of energy out of the girls tonight.
And that's exactly, Bill Thomas, would you mind taking a look over there at the Leominster huddle right now? That's exactly what we are seeing. Although they came out on the losing end of that particular set, they are fired up right now.
They know they were in that
They are fired up.
all the way to the end.
And when you know that you have the class of your pod coming into your gymnasium, although you come out on the wrong side of that particular set, that is a huge confidence boost to know that you came that close, that you had your number 1 server back there, and that you had it in your hands to be able to go and get, if you know, an outside chance. Yeah. Do they need to have 5 points in a row to do it? Yeah. Is it likely? Maybe not. But they put themselves in a position where they had the opportunity to do it. And you can see their energy. You can see their effort. They are up. Right now on the other side of the ball, you have a situation where this is business as usual for Groton Dunstable.
Yes.
This is any other day. And so they're going out there and they're surgical. They're very calculating. They're calculated in their approach, and they're tactical. And so the reason that you're seeing a little bit of a different energy on their end is that, again, this is business as usual for them. They're looking at, they're looking not necessarily beyond this opponent, but they're looking on working on other things.
And Leominster and Groton Dunstable match up again on Wednesday out at Groton Dunstable, out there on the border with Southern New Hampshire. That's where that battle will take place on Wednesday. To close out Groton Dunstable's regular season, for Leominster, they come back here to the gym at Leominster High School on Thursday. South Lancaster Academy is the opponent. 5:30 is the start time. It is the Dig Pink game. We'll talk to Coach John Antonetti about that one as Leominster raises awareness for breast cancer research, all right here inside the gym at Leominster High School. We'll have it for you here on RFM. Not done yet with this one. Groton Dunstable will start with the ball and
still
service.
Not used to having people around.
But it's kind of nice.
It's really nice.
It's kind of nice to have people back.
I mean, and I don't like having people, I'm not a people person per se, necessarily, especially in my bubble, but it's nice to have other humans around.
Kenny long of the line on the opening service of the third set, so Leominster grabs the first point.
Bill Thomas knows my personal space bubble is about the size of Montana.
I'm thinking we're going to have to start staking out our area again if this keeps up.
Nice part about it is you can feel
Yes.
a little more normal in the grand scheme of things.
Beautiful
This
serve.
one's still alive. Kill from Frazier, dug out by Wynn. Now Wynn, back line, long. 1-all, and down goes the 0 in 2020, Bill Thomas. Slowly and steadily.
Slowly taking hits back there on that back wall.
As a member of the Crusaders that are stepping in there, they're trying to help out a little bit. Action continues. The officials not deterred. And the floor, Leominster falls behind.
That's what you can't have happen if you're Leominster. Poor Groton Dunstable girl. That's like metal she's making.
I was going to say, I'm trying to find out who that is.
She's doing a nice job. Here comes
It was Abby Burgess, the sophomore. Yes, and here comes assistant coach Samantha Como. She's going to pull some of the senior night paraphernalia off the floor as Rodman clips the net. Leominster will set up some substitutions here.
These walls are notorious. Nothing sticks to them.
It's very true.
Literally
The
nothing.
bricks,
The brick and
pads,
the padding.
nothing.
Unless you want to rip the, the padding or the
Been done
paint
before.
right off.
Rodman. Take up by Wynn.
Talk to each other, kiddos.
Sanchez. Too low. Coach Barlow leads the conversation with a substitution. Emma Gusheka goes to the back line on service. Sends it over. That's Sanchez. Now Wynn. And Stanton and Sanchez have a little team meeting, and that one's not going to clip the net.
Things getting a little bit chaotic for Leominster again. They need to settle things down.
Doing a little more chasing this game.
I agree.
Getting each other's way.
Broomfield continues with that fantastic libero play. Kenny, tough angle, out of play.
She was going into the seats. She was coming out into the seats.
Meanwhile, Coach Sam Como playing Vanna White,
Yes,
bringing
I
the
saw
tiles
that.
down as she clears the
She's doing
board.
a nice job.
Indeed.
I'll buy a number.
But we're talking Bill
She's
Thomas.
probably muttering to herself, is this in the job description?
Indeed.
She's wonderful.
Broomfield into the net.
It's been quiet out on the Facebook world. We got a lot of people watching.
Brooke Barry's back there on service. Leominster's got to send the free ball over. It does clear.
A demure crowd tonight.
Indeed,
there it
and
is.
there was the hammer, dug out by Wynn.
That was that quick hitter, too.
Indeed. The pass, and Kenny. Nice job, by the way. Again, middle of the floor. It's Sydney Barlow who shows one way in that
Yes.
case, and Kenny is the one who's going to have the opportunity for the outside kill attempt.
Beautiful work.
Or has been the one that kind of plays possum and all of a sudden shows up and drives the ball between your teeth.
It's beautiful. I'm 5'4". I never would have had a shot at any of that. It's just nice to watch.
Here
Like
she
that.
comes, and there it goes.
That was a classic set right there. Didn't that give the defense time to react? A low set at the net, and she came in and attacked it.
Beautiful work.
That's someone that has an opportunity to do something with this sport in the future.
Yeah, that's got
And another
future.
year of development. Block right back from O'Malley. Leominster not able to clear the net. Send it back over along with the point. Leominster's falling behind by 3 here in the third set.
I think Leominster lost track of how many hits there.
Yeah, it wasn't really on top. The ball hit the ball hit the tape and hit back on your side.
Good explanation. by
Captain
the net
Shayla
ref.
Wynn does a nice job to get a clarification and a good explanation.
You're such an eavesdropper.
It's the greatest mic ever positioned. That ball is clear of the back line.
We call it our squeak mic.
Because, of course,
But-
it's from our
It's
basketball
on the
coverage.
floor, but
It
we're
is meant
getting-
to hear
we're
the
getting-
shoes.
I didn't know we'd get this kind of use
I was
out
going to
of it.
say.
Todd thinks he's 007. now.
Indeed. Kenny angles it over inside the antenna. No!
Ooh, nice. Bernie LeClaire with a very specific call there.
Indeed. All he needed was a laser pointer to
love it.
guide that thing at the antenna. It's wide of the antenna. The point goes
But
to
the
Leominster.
Pictionary was fabulous. I knew exactly what he meant. Way to go, Bernie LeClaire.
Barlow. There's the set, middle of the floor, diving attempt, and not able to respond, Broomfield. Point in possession will sail back with the Crusaders.
Her joints are going to be happy after this week.
You mean when she just gets to sit in a vat of ice for months on end?
Yep. That.
Oh my gosh. Here's Eberhardt
Just
back on
think in a
serve.
normal year, this would be prom season.
I
She wouldn't
know.
be playing volleyball during prom season, but in a normal year, she'd have these bruises during prom season.
Wynn fooled herself. She tried to switch to southpaw and sent it into the net. Here's Eberhardt.
Ooh, gentle.
And gentle is an ace.
Got everybody
Gentle.
sleeping right there.
Yep.
Fell in no man's land.
Coach Antonetti says there's no time like the present for a timeout. As Coach Heather Barlow and crew arrive at the 10-point mark with a 2-set lead here in the third set, looking to close Leominster out here with no extension of this match and to bring their record to a perfect 10-0.
Leominster running out a little bit of steam here early in this third set. They got to find a way to battle back here. You can't let Groton Dunstable build a lead because they're so good that even if you fight back, they're going to find a way to stem the tide. You know they're going to score their points when they get the serve, so you got to maintain that even-handed play until you can gain an advantage and hopefully hold it.
Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you, part of our family here on Rivalry Family Media. Great to have you along with us on what has been a very exciting match on senior day here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Here comes Wood. Clears the net, dug out by Eberhardt. Rodman with the set, and then pushed on by Barlow. Amosa through the block for the kill.
Leominster staying in it.
And that's how you respond out of a timeout, Kate. A
That's
well-spent
absolutely right.
timeout that yielded points.
Got some other sport dignitaries in here.
Indeed. Brady sends it over. Wynn with
Nice.
the touch. Finds the floor as Barlow body surfs her way across the floor.
Is that Rusty I see
Yeah, I was
over
gonna
there?
say.
Girls-
Fredericks.
Oh yeah, girls basketball coach.
Yes,
checking
indeed.
out. He's got a couple of girls that play for him here.
I got to imagine he's
On
got a
the
few that he's
volleyball
sitting there
team.
thinking to himself, boy, wouldn't that have been nice to have on the basketball squad? Little size in the low block.
Could be doing some recruiting for next fall.
Back set, Eberhardt.
winter.
Kenny with the kill attempt, doesn't go. Wood, the touch, it's still alive. Responds right back. Brady says, take that. Blocked back on Wynn.
Nice
Able to
job.
play it along. In tight, Leominster ultimately can't respond. But what an exchange. Back and forth along the tape.
Up close net play right there, almost like tennis, just batting it back and forth.
So easy to have a second hit in that exchange.
And the net was involved on
Yes,
two
it
of those.
was.
And it throws the timing off on top of it, and still to be able to complete the return.
Kenny with the service. Wynn, Wood. Eberhardt pushed it to the outside. There came Barry, and Barry just a
She's
little too
upset with
low.
herself.
Missed the
These
opportunity.
outside hitters for Groton Dunstable, they get so excited when a ball comes their way. They just love to outside hit.
It's like, yes, here it comes. What an
Stop
opportunity.
Salivating.
It's like when you get to tackle a quarterback.
I know. Here comes Shayla Wynn into the net.
That's not what Leominster needs there, but it's a lot of pressure. You can't be perfect. You can't go on a run every single time. You got to have a short memory here if you're Shayla Wynn.
Indeed you do. Send Naomi Rodman to the back line.
Tough.
That's going to be a fourth hit, so we'll go back to Groton Dunstable. I'm noticing here as I look over Coach Heather Barlow's roster, there were 4 seniors that they acknowledged here on Leominster High School's senior night at the start of the night. And the rest, sophomores and juniors.
Oh, good.
So if you were to go perfect in your junior year, what exactly is your second act for your senior year?
Actual playoffs.
I
next
was going to
year.
say, a state championship would certainly have to be in contention. You got to think about it under a normal year.
Now, I don't know how Central Mass volleyball stacks up against Eastern or Western Mass. I mean, we know that, you know, in situations like basketball and other things, Western Mass has some powerhouse teams. I don't know where Central Mass volleyball stacks against the other geographical areas of the state.
Have to imagine Holyoke, the birthplace of volleyball, is pretty
Oh,
good.
Well, you know, there is that.
Rodman, there's the swing on. That one
Western Mass
dug out.
people inventing a lot of things out there. They
Indeed
must
they
have
do.
had a lot of
And
time.
Wood finds the kill. Back right corner.
A lot of time on their hands out there.
Indeed, back in the day.
But I mean, Shay's Rebellion, I mean, there's a lot going on
It's
out
true.
there. Shay's Rebellion, one of my favorite
Ball
things to teach.
disappeared into the
Into the
darkness
abyss.
over here.
Yeah, into the alcove.
The ball was somewhere in there.
Game ball.
Get
Here it
another one.
comes.
So a changing game ball here, coming at 14-10 of the third set. Rodman. Eberhardt with the
Oh,
touch,
boy.
and there's the spike. Nothing else you could call
No, I
that,
mean,
just a
that's-
straight spike.
That's like a pro set right
Oh.
there. I mean, and she knew it, just a tape level and meet it at the top. Don't wait for it and attack it. Doesn't get any prettier than that.
Eberhardt knew exactly how high she needed to leave that set
I
so
think-
that it could be driven home by Barlow.
And that's one of the things. You always take a look at the outside hitter and how impressive Barlow is, but none of that happens without the just absolute pinpoint precision of that set, knowing it because it's such a personal preference. You have to know the personal preference of every single one of your outside hitters and have that anticipation and that chemistry.
Broomfield got that one to clear the tape. Still alive off of Barry. Kenny swings the free ball over.
It's like a dance.
This has got to go over as well. Wood responds. Kenny, Eberhardt. Two-hand shove, and that's a double hit. Leominster point in possession.
Leominster still in this one. Regardless of the outcome, and it's probably premature to talk about this already, but regardless of the outcome, this is some of the best volleyball that we've seen out of this Leominster High School squad. They knew what was walking into their gymnasium. They saw it on Monday. They knew, and they've done a really nice job.
That one is an ace for Broomfield. Kate, I will add here to that observation and take it a step further and say, this is what you do when you are playing competition. You rise to the level of your opponent.
Yep.
Some teams cave like a 10-cent house of cards, and others rise to the occasion. Eberhardt. Here comes Barlow. Backline. Broomfield responds.
My word.
Sanchez for Guscheka.
It's coming.
This is Kenny back row kill. Broomfield says, not this time. Amosa responds. Kenny says, let's keep this alive a little longer. Here comes Barlow with the curveball and catches the line.
What an attacker she is. She just went after that ball with everything she has. Not the biggest girl on the court, but she plays above the tape.
But you guys see who shares that name.
I may have noticed.
According to Johnny on the spot here in the comments, Chris Kine, Groton Dunstable won the 2018 D2 state title.
That says an awful lot.
Thank you, Chris.
Short of the net.
Chris has my back.
Sports Information Director
That's right.
Extraordinaire here
I think
at
you
Leominster High
bestowed
School.
that title on him.
I have, and he can own it. I don't know if it comes with a stipend. That's up to the union and the administration. But I'll bestow titles all day long. This one's lying with the line. 19-12.
I don't see Chris in the gym. Is he out guarding the doorway? And
I was going to say he's been in and out. He was on bus duty trying to find Groton Dunstable earlier. Wood with a kill down the line.
As we were talking about Barlow before, though, one person not overly exuberant every time she has one of those masterful kills is the person who shares her last name. Very quiet and very restrained.
Here she comes again.
Yeah.
My God. I'm not standing in front of that.
She's
Not
putting on a show
today,
right now.
not tomorrow, not with full on. I've stood in front of a 70-mile-an-hour fastball before, and I do not want to be anywhere near Barlow when she's sending a ball over the net.
Nope.
No, thank you.
Your face thanks you.
Does it ever?
Free ball.
Win cleared the net. Barlow kept it alive. Responds Guscheka. Amosa, long of the line. 21-13, Groton Dunstable, 4 points away from closing out this match and arriving at a perfect 10-0, and Barlow on service. Coach John Antonetti says, let's talk about this a little bit.
Barlow says okay.
Fine. We'll wait as they head over to their conversation.
If you're Coach Antonetti, though, you just have to be so proud, particularly of set number 2 and set number 3 from your team. There is literally nothing Leominster should be hanging their heads about.
Nope.
They have, as you said, I think in earnest, for the first time all season long, truly risen to the level of their competition. And there are some people that are literally playing out of their shoes. Awesome tonight for Leominster.
This team has only been challenged, that being Groton Dunstable, by North Middlesex, who we know is the second best team in the pod thus far.
2 sets all season.
And it was 2 sets all season.
Yeah.
They got swept. No, they did not get swept. 3 sets all season. North Middlesex took 1 in the second match. Sanchez responds into the net. 22-13. So aside from those 3 sets against the same opponent, who very likely will be in the pod final, playing Groton Dunstable if everything comes to pass,
No, they've given up.
they have
2
swept
sets.
every opponent.
2, 3, 4 sets. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong spot.
Yeah, down here, yes.
Yep.
And that one is wide of the line. Leominster will get the ball back and service.
Impressive.
Indeed.
Just impressive. The whole thing.
Indeed. 22-14. Here comes Collier.
This has been a show all night.
Indeed it has been on both sides. Eberhardt swung over by Kenny. Collier keeps it alive. Touch to the outside, Wood. Into the tape. Eberhardt on service at 23-14. Guzcheka out. Frazier back in, the sophomore. Adds a little height to the middle of the floor. Eberhardt with a chance to close out the match. Wood swings it to the back row. Barlow. Eberhardt. Kenny, the tap. Amosa kept it alive, but for a moment. The Crusaders have climbed to the top of the hill. 24-14, up 10 in the third set. This, their first match point. Amosa through the block. Kenny kept it alive. Touched back over. Called in the net. Actually called 2 hits. Leominster keeps this alive. 24-15. Samantha Brady faces yet another opportunity to keep the match going. Second match point for Groton Dunstable. Brady's dug out by Rodman. Back line, not able to respond. The kill for O'Malley. And that closes this one out. 25-15, Groton Dunstable wins set number 3. And the match by a 3-0 score, improving their overall record to 10-0. Leominster will fall to 2-9. But what a treat this one has been on senior night inside the gym at Leominster High School. Bill Thomas, can't say enough good things about what we saw here.
No, I'd say, you know, it doesn't feel like a 3-0 defeat for the Leominster girls tonight. They played some tremendous volleyball. And when you look at the scores, 3-4 points tops with a difference in every single set. But Groton Dunstable definitely has that edge when it comes to frontline hitters, and they showed their strength tonight.
Indeed they did, and they responded at every opportunity. But I have to say, based on what we've seen here, it was one of the first times, I would say, this season that Groton Dunstable got pushed a little bit.
Well, they were definitely some close matches, but, you know, I think Groton Dunstable might have gotten pushed a little more than they expected to, but at no point did I see any panic, either from the sideline or from the kids that were on the court. A lot of substitution, a lot of mixing and matching. Coaching staff did a good job for Groton Dunstable getting the right kids in position for service. And it seemed like they had the frontline players up there when they needed to attack. They just know how to do that second set. Sometimes they change it up, and what they were doing was not the same thing set after set after setup, setup after setup. They were short setups. They were across the court, reversing. You never knew what to expect, but they always had that third person coming in ready to attack.
Indeed they did. Kate setting things up courtside so we can talk to Leominster head coach John Antonetti. And Kate, I've just realized what a challenge covering this distance is going to be for sound for Coach Antonetti, but we'll see. We'll make it work. Absolutely.
Have fun.
We will be able to do that, but he is joining us now courtside. Bill Thomas able to pan in to show us here. He's going to have a quick conversation with the officials before we get an opportunity to talk to him, but it's a 3-0 victory for Groton Dunstable here on senior night inside the gym at Leominster High School. But the refreshing things that, of course, stand out as you see the players begin to disassemble the floor as well behind Coach Antonetti. A very, very exciting match with Groton Dunstable and a huge response. These seniors leave with a big smile on their face at the end of this night, and another opportunity against the same team on Wednesday, followed by one more home game against South Lancaster Academy on Dig Pink night. Coming up on Thursday, we'll have it for you here on Rivalry Family Media on Thursday, 5:30 for that match as well. fingers crossed, barring any technical difficulties, we'll be on the air with you about 10 minutes beforehand.
Here's hoping.
But we do appreciate your patience and assistance as we navigated our way through that early on at the start of this broadcast as well. But we're looking forward to being here for Dig Pink Night. Splash a little pink in your outfit. Billy, Kate, and I will sport it as well as part of the broadcast. We'll get some of that splashed in, why not, into the broadcast graphics
we aim
as well.
our mics about like halfway up on our headsets and then just really project to him.
That is the hope, yes, that's the hope.
So if it gets a little loud, we're not screaming at everybody listening and watching.
That
we're
is
just
correct.
yelling at Coach.
And possibly let your mask slide down just a little.
Just a
Todd,
hair? Just
and
a
you
hair?
might be able to do a little lip reading too on top of it.
We'll see how that goes. As Leominster head coach John Antonetti steps to the microphone here, and
To the podium.
indeed he does. Let's see
Here
if we
we
can
go.
make a little adjustment here. Coach, great start to your night. Obviously, it's senior night here inside the gym. Big night here. First opportunity for you to take on this Groton Dunstable team that you guys have heard so much about. What a performance for your team rising to their competition tonight.
Thank you, thank you. What I told the girls was, this is what they're capable of playing. Okay, we saw it when we had Monty Tech here, and then we've just so emotional. You know, Katie knows. And what I profess is, it's okay to lose, but you want them walking out of here saying, how did we beat them? And I said to them after the match tonight, I said, now they're scared because they saw that we could play with them. And now we just got to stay focused and give them a run, and we feel we can beat them now. And that's how, you know, it's all so much mental that once you believe in it, now you go do it.
You've seen this team day in and day out in practice. You've seen them obviously in the competitions you've played thus far. What was different here tonight in your team's play versus previous competitions?
Tonight, it was the crowd. All right, and it gave them that extra energy. And it was their senior night, it was their night, and I remember my senior night, my last year in high school, playing baseball, and after the game, I went and I just stood at home plate because it was just like, it was over. And so the crowd was the biggest thing. And this was a small crowd, what we normally have. All right, traditionally, if a night like this place would have been packed. And you saw the energy that they brought, just a few, you know, just the 9 parents and their families, that was what part of the difference was. And I think if we had been able to have a little bit more people in, that would have showed the girls how much everybody believes in them.
Maybe a little more normal, it seemed like, here inside the gym at Leominster High School.
It felt normal, you know? And I'm sitting there thinking, boy, if this had only been at the beginning, you know, it just...
Let's talk about the opposition for a moment, because obviously we've heard all year long about Groton Dunstable. They're still perfect. You've got another matchup with them coming up on Wednesday. I thought the little bit difference from them with maybe other teams that they've played throughout the year, it's not so much their service game that is kind of their big thing. It's their ability to respond to your first ball back over the net. The ability for them to adjust on the floor, and then obviously their kill opportunities are unbelievable.
Yes, yeah, and being senior, I kind of played more of the seniors to give them that last time. So we have a couple players on the bench that they didn't really see, that hopefully that the chemistry with the right group now, we could be a little more competitive.
You mentioned senior night. Let's talk a little bit about it. We were able to pick up and get some of the back end of your presentation this evening as we navigated technical difficulties. But I want to talk a little bit about what you said right off the very beginning that the folks didn't get an opportunity to see. And that is, of course, something you've told us. You are a parent to daughters. You have a whole fleet of daughters. And you think of each of these players as your daughters. Talk about the type of experience you want for them and what these seniors have gotten.
So, all 4 of my girls played high school sports, and the middle 2 got asked to play in college for softball. And we told them, you know, you can play school sports, but you're going to be paying for it. They both got the double E's, and that's what they decided to do. But with the girls here, I took the program over 3 years ago, and there was some issues, and I just took all the girls that were returning and put them on varsity so that they all felt they belong. And tonight, the last 5 were here. And I'm just trying to teach them, this is how a team works. This is how it's more mental, it's more emotional. We got to trust each other. And having for the 3 years, the last 5, it was just letting them know that I'm there for them as a coach, as an instructor, and that I still talk to some of my coaches from when I played. So, I mean, that's what it's about. It's most of these girls, they're all going on to professional careers from the sounds of it. So, and we're lucky that we may have 2 to play.
I want to talk a little bit about those professional careers that you identify, because I think there's an important point here. Unlike some of the other sports here at Leominster High School that we cover, you are made up by a vast majority of players that are also vocational technical students. And you made a point to mention their vocational technical experience here at Leominster High School as well. That is, first of all, unique in most comprehensive high schools in a city this size.
Yes.
But it's also a unique experience for student athletes to be both a traditional student, a vocational student, and an athlete. That's quite the triumvirate to put together in a 4-year career.
Yes, yes. And the other thing is our coaching staff here, because we have 3 or 4 of the instructors on the vocational side. We have Grutch with the basketball program. We have Mooney with the hockey program. We have a couple of the others that, so that in itself is unique too.
No question about that.
So.
Talk about that experience, all of the things that student athletes are taking on when they're under that circumstance, when you are both or all 3, a comprehensive student, a vocational student, and also a student athlete. There's a lot going on there. Kate had alluded to it before the broadcast. You've got, of course, the academic components. You have your vocational responsibilities. You're well over 900 hours of training in your particular vocation. And then you have that last component, the coming in the afternoon and being a student athlete. Some of these folks, under a normal year, would be coming potentially from some kind of an internship or an externship opportunity. Talk about all of those items that go into that experience.
So some of the kids, they work co-op, so they're out all day working a full day. Normally they're there 7 to 5 kind of thing. Some of the co-op programs allow the students to come in and play, and so they got to give up their vocational time while they're out there, and that's a regular job. They're getting paid and everything as an entered apprentice or entry levels, but the boss is counting on them. And so for a boss to say, yeah, you can leave at 2 o'clock and go play ball, that in itself is we're thankful for.
Certainly.
Some of the schools I've worked at, they've told the employees that they're students first, even though you have them all day. So you got that going on where you're in shop for the week or whatever, and then you're in academic the following week. Some of the academic programs are very rigorous, and some of them are in advanced AP and honor courses on top of that, as well as the girls that are on the academic side. So they're loaded. This year, a lot of the girls were loaded with homework all year on top of all this. So the only normalcy they got was to come here and play a little bit instead of doing their remote classes and coming in and doing their classes for shop. And so for the kids this year, just being able to do the extra and giving that a little bit of normalcy is a good thing.
And as coach, as you mentioned, right now you have advanced placement exams for many of those student athletes coming up starting in about 2 weeks, right after April vacation. Not only that, on the vocational side, this is your senior project time of year. This is where those senior showcases are happening on the vocational technical side of things. And obviously with having a senior laden team, all of these young ladies are looking at, just about 6 weeks left of their entire high school careers. That's not something that normally a fall one or like a traditional fall sport you're dealing with. Talk about how that's been different now that you've been in kind of like this winter, spring time period.
I kind of liked having a fall 2 season with the girls because usually by Thanksgiving we're done.
Yep.
And a lot of times I don't get to see them because they're now busy either in their winter sport or now they're really in dress in school. So I kind of like that fall too, where it's the middle of the year now and I got to see them more and see how they're doing academically. So it's better getting them on the tail end now than saying goodbye to them in the fall, and then the season's over, and a lot of them, you know, it's done with. So.
As we wrap up our thoughts on senior night here, Coach, I want to bring you back to another thought here. Every class has some responsibility in connecting to the next class. And, you know, one class leads to the next on down the line, legacy-wise. And with coaches, each class stands out for a different reason. When you think back on the class of 2021, what's it going to be that stands out for you? What's the thing that they did for your program?
So having those groups together, most of them for the 3 years, looking back, I'm going to say probably that they were very talented, that they got a raw deal with the pandemic, and that what could have been. Because you have that every year. You know, you look at one kid that she should have played with me this 1 year, and that was the difference, kind of thing. Similar to like number 6 here. Okay, she finally mentally had the courage enough to come out and play. If we had had her for one more year, that extra experience would have paid off. So this is going to be the little asterisk next to them saying it was the COVID year. They just back and forth. They were an emotional wreck going up and down. Personally, I'm not giving that the excuse because I know what their potential was, as we saw tonight. And it's just like, shoulda, coulda. But the one thing was they didn't give up all year. And because they didn't give up, that's why they were competitive tonight.
And another opportunity comes up on Wednesday, another one to follow after that on Thursday, right back here against South Lancaster Academy. That's another special night for you guys. That is your Dig Pink night here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Talk to us a little bit about that. Of course, we've been a part of breast cancer awareness broadcasts and other sports. Talk about how yours is unique and obviously how the COVID year is affecting that a little bit.
So 3 years ago, we kind of, I won't say we restarted or whatever because they've done stuff in the past. But what we did here was we had a big concession stand, we had raffles, we sold apparel, we took up collections, and girls all wore pink. We got pink balls. We just made it all. We talked about in the beginning, we honor those who passed. We recognize the survivors that are present. And it gives the girls an understanding of it's not just about ball, it's about life. And to reflect and to be able to say, well, you're lucky right now, and you're lucky that you know someone that survived where those aren't. And it just gives them that, the real world. Because once they go out here in June, it's the real world. And coach ain't around, and my math teacher's not here no more. And I joke with them saying, you know, 3-4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the graduation, you're going to wake up and say, what do I do?
Yeah.
Now what? And I kind of chuckle at my seniors when I tell them that because I know what they're in for, and they have no idea. And I just wish the best for all of them. And some of them, you get scary because you see some of their situations and everything, and you're sensitive to that. And but just the pink night, it gives them that whole reality. The boys wanted to do it last year, and the whole season got canned, and they were so disappointed that that was what they couldn't do. And so with that, I feel I'm doing my job because they're looking at what the more important things are in life.
No question about that. There is something to be said for blissful, youthful exuberance and maybe ignorance.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times kids get a bad rap, you know, and no. The whole student body here, they're just phenomenal kids. They really are. And it's a special place, and the staff recognizes it, the administration recognizes it, and we got some really good kids.
Indeed we do. Coach John Antonetti, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you again on Thursday.
Yes, thank you. The girls have really enjoyed having you guys broadcast our games. And so I just want to thank you on behalf of them and myself and my family. My daughter over in Arizona, she'll be texting me on the way home now.
Fantastic.
My other girls watch too, but it's funny how the different girls call me and tell me these different things. And text me all night and everything.
I was going to say, something tells me you're going to get a number of text messages tonight with your performance here post-game.
Yes.
That
Yes.
does tend to be part of it.
And usually they'll call me and say, why did you say that? So I think I've been pretty good without saying anything to embarrass them.
There you go.
Fantastic job,
Thank
Coach.
you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Take
Have
care,
a great
Coach.
Thursday.
Thank you so much. We'll see you on Thursday. That's Leominster head coach John Antonetti joining us here courtside at the conclusion of this one. And Bill, you got an opportunity to hear a coach who obviously, on a senior night in a difficult year, they have been less than ideal circumstances in order to be able to put this all together. But what you could hear in Coach John Antonetti, that ability to be able to bring that sense of normalcy, bring things back to what is somewhat as best we can all avoid, the COVID world that we've all been living in. He's been able to establish that here tonight and got a couple more days to be able to do that with his squad.
Yeah, you can hear it in his voice. He's proud of his girls and what they've accomplished. The record aside, as far as being teammates coming together, of a competitive team, not reflective of their 2-9 record. We've seen a number of close matches, but you can see the passion in his voice. He just loves coaching. He wants the girls to have fun. When he talked about having the fans back in the building, the parents finally get to see the kids play, and that's really what it's all about as a parent. Just adds that next level, and he said he could feel it on the bench, he could hear it in the crowd, and it was nice to see him be able to achieve that level, especially here on senior night. So I think that made it a little extra special in these tough times, and we've seen plenty of games without a parent in sight, and I think that little extra win or lose aside, just the entire events of this evening, I think, was very fulfilling.
And able to add a little bit something, Kate. You and I, of course, are lucky enough to spend our time in our classrooms every day and to have groups of students that are ours, that we're able to work with and grow. And you could hear that in the passion of an educator in Coach John Antonetti, maybe even more so than as an athletic coach. The passion of wanting to set them up as best you possibly can and give them the best possible lessons and preparation that you can for everything beyond the walls of the school building. I think sometimes we get a little lost in education, worrying a lot about our content and the different responsibilities that we have, but maybe just for a moment there you heard what the ultimate responsibility of an educator is, and that's to prepare these student athletes for life.
Well, and I know, you know that I have obviously quite a big soft spot for, vocational technical education. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that when you have students that are in Voc Tech, you have a situation where he spends all day with his students. So, I'm on the academic side within a vocational technical setting. And so I see students, every other week for the specific hours that I have. I get to see a lot more students than you would at a regular comprehensive high school. But shop teachers, they really do become part of people's families, and you can see him translate that not only into his vocational technical training and education. You have vocational technical students that they come back. He made a bit of a joke about it, that these students will wake up on Tuesday after graduation and really not know. He's not exaggerating there. We have students every single year
it is not.
that they will come back the very next week, and you look at them and go, no, you've been here 4 years. It's time to fly the coop. And so there are students that will come back, and he'll guide those students throughout years and years to come. And you can see that connection and that passion and that emotion. You can see him translating that as well on in the athletic pursuits that he coaches, both on the girls' side and on the boys' side as well. And vocational technical teachers, it's a special breed, number one, but the connection with their students is fervent. It really truly is, because they spend so much time together, and you can see that translate when you have a vocational technical education teacher also in the realm of athletics. There's a really special connection there.
Indeed, no question about that. And Coach Antonetti will be with us again on Thursday. Yes.
Tell Andrea Nevard we got a very nice message from Andrea Nevard, and don't worry, Isabella is dressed for basketball. You're very welcome, and don't worry, she's getting ready for basketball now.
That's right. As the seasons continue and collide as we go through through the rest of this calendar year 2021. as well. It's been great having you along with us here for another fantastic edition of Rivalry Family Media Volleyball here on a Monday night. One more edition comes your way on Thursday as part of the regular season. Leominster will play host to South Lancaster Academy. That game, 5:30, that match set to start. First service, 5:30 on Thursday. We'll be with you on the air by about 5:15, 20 past 5, coming up on Thursday here on Rivalry Family Media for their Think Pink, Dig Pink night here inside the gym at Leominster High School, and we're looking forward to being a part of that one. Splash a little pink in with your royal blue to be a part of that one. Kate, Billy, and I will as well, as we help raise awareness for breast cancer research all across the Rivalry Family Media family as well. So we're looking forward to that. Whether you're here in the building or at home, throw a little pink in with your outfit as we get set for Thursday night. We're looking forward to that. Leominster and South Lancaster Academy. Also coming up throughout this week, a lot of football action out there as well. Leominster and Doherty comes up on Friday night. We'll have that action for you over on our radio home, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com. That's the K-Zone. We'll have that action for you as Doherty travels to Doyle Field to play Leominster. First game at Doyle Field in calendar year 2021. First football game in better than a year and a half. We're looking forward to being out there for that one. And then we'll have a radio doubleheader this week as St. Bernard's travels to play West Boylston. Game taking place at a neutral site at Shrewsbury High School. We'll have that action for you also on the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com. Looking forward to having that with you. The Friday game with Leominster and Doherty, also with our television partners at Leominster TV, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 32, and that broadcast will begin about 10 minutes to 7, right before kickoff on that one. K-Zone's got your expanded coverage with an expanded countdown to kickoff beginning at 20 minutes past 6. Also coming up later on this week here on Rivalry Family Media, we've got Leominster head coach Devin Gates in the weekly Coach's Corner for week 5 of action, as we'll recap last week's battle with Wachusett and follow that up with a preview of the upcoming matchup with Doherty and Leominster on Friday night. Stay tuned to Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for more on that. For more on this game and so many other ways to play, you can check out this action on YouTube. So many ways that you can find that one. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry is where you will find the live action on demand, available on YouTube, youtube.com, search Rivalry Family Media, or tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry. Schedule updates and news from all around the region, available on Twitter. Give us a follow at Media Rivalry on that one. Like, follow, and subscribe today. When we go live, you get a notification on your smart-enabled device. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for joining us. We're once again the final score. Groton Dunstable a winner in straight sets, 25-15, 25-22, 25-15, in a fantastic battle here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Until Thursday night, here on Rivalry Family Media, for Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for being a part of our family over the last couple of hours. We look forward to hosting you again later on this week. Until then, so long, everybody.